Hello everyone, I've got one quick game for you today, but before we start, I kindly ask you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you already did, thank you for being an excellent subscriber. Let's go to the table. And welcome to the table. We have one game, as I told you before. This is game played by Cedric, who appeared many times on this channel before. He sent me this one and I thought it was pretty interesting. This video, basically, this game has one feature that's very strong. The rest is pretty standard, but I think that the feature is good enough that we can spend one video on it. So we open with this setup, and let me just briefly talk about strategy here. If you are a new player coming to this game also, I think that would benefit you a little bit. So in Seven Wonders in 4-player, we usually say that there are red strategies and green strategies. Unopposed green is very powerful, and red winning cheaply is also very powerful. In this setup, there are two wonders that can actually go green, so Ephesos and Babylon on the other sides. And in 4-player, that's not really something that you want. Like, you want to be either a sole green player, or you want the next green player to be just right after you, probably. Or maybe here, depending on what will happen. This is actually pretty complicated and very hard to explain in one video. But in this one, I think Cedric correctly identifies that he doesn't have like any great opportunities for playing in any other colors. Like, his first hand doesn't offer any duel that will help him play red or help him play any other way. So he tries to go for a green all-in. And at least he signals it from the start by picking the glass. And the second hand, he continues with his plan. In 4 players, both hands will rotate back to him. So from the first hand, he can still pick Scriptorium, the tablet from the first stage. And here he is aiming for Apothecary. But to get Apothecary, first he has to get Loom. His other opponents all pick duels, so that's quite strong for them. And this is the hand that you'll probably just go, okay, Scriptorium. And let's look. That's the first instinct for Cedric as well. But this is the hand that I want you to think about it, and like really think about it. And when you are done thinking about it, and like what I am telling about, should I pick Pawn Shop? Should I pick Orvain? Should I pick Claypool? And you might be wondering, no, I still think Scriptorium is better because the second one might get buried. And I totally agree with all of that. Let's be honest, like most of the time you will play it like that. But here Cedric decides to go for something totally different, and he picks the cards that you will never think about. So that obviously has to be Press. And he picks Press for a few reasons. First reason for picking Press, and like this is the most important one, is denying Babylon. He doesn't want Babylon to get the Press, because the Press being on like the third hand here, so let's say we pick Scriptorium, Rhodos goes for probably Orvain, to be honest, because that finishes his stage, then Babylon picks Press, and then in the second stage he can pick School, and he can pick Laboratory if he gets the clays, but he can buy the clays or do something else with the clays. That's the danger of it. And that would really screw with the plan of going us with the full green here. Like, from what we see, the spread is good. Like, we should be able to grab the workshop in the first stage, so everything should be fine. But here comes the big problem. Okay, if you want to deny, why not throw the card? And that's an excellent question, and that's another line that you can take here. But two things that picking Press does that's a little better, and better here might be questionable. You'll see this game, but please don't judge this by the result. Judge it by like how the play happened when it happened. That's how you should judge all the plays in all games, to be honest, but especially in Seven Wonders. Here, another incentives are Chamber of Commerce, and another incentive is confusing your opponents. That's not something that Cedric really talked about when he showed me this, but this is something that really confuses all your opponents. Like, tell me, how much do you respect a player that plays additional press when he already has press, when there is like no business other than Chamber of Commerce? this is just bad. And this can also be bad for the Grey Guild. So this play is really, really confusing, and it can help your opponents not treat you seriously, which means that they will not block you as much, which means that you get an easier game. I don't think that's a strategy that's going to work a lot of the time. Not really, not necessarily when players like know you, or maybe not after this video, because then it will be known, and like I like that would be so funny if like people just picked the second Grey just to confuse people in arena or something right now. I would really laugh at that meta for sure. But here I think this can work. Throwing and playing it for chamber is actually like not that opposed to each other, and you know, when you see this as Rhodos or like Giza, you think pretty good. But yeah, let's just see what happens in this one after he picks Brass. This is fairly standard. This is of course very good, and we'll just continue with the green plan here. There is nothing else for us to do here, not in H1 at least. Scriptorium gets back. I think Scriptorium was getting back. The problem I see from not picking the Scriptorium from previous hands is that we are skipping on trading post, and that trading post would be excellent here. So like I see the value in the play, but I think still that the Scriptorium line could have been maybe a little better, but at the same time we'll just have to see what happens with the greens, because Babylon would block some of the greens for us, but West trading would help anyway. Here of course we have to go for Scriptorium, and here we have to go for Apothecary. This was a little maybe weird that it wasn't blocked, but at the same time I don't think he's in a position to block. Like if anyone would have to block this, it would probably be Babylon, but it's not great to block for him either, so yeah, that's just the world we live in. But worth noting is that a trading post would not be enough to play the second stage right now. So yeah, there are traders all over the place, as usual in Seven Wonders. So first hand, and there is a decision. Like you can, if people seen this and this doesn't scare them, but this, I'm just going to circle it with a mouse like a pro. Not really, but this does scare them. So there is a chance to pick up a library here, but they might be able to block. But this is another thing where like this is where this strategy actually works, and this is not something that you should do every time, but you should make like realization and make like predict people's movements in this one. Rhodos right now cannot counterplay. He cannot play his neither of his stages. He might get them online soon, but he doesn't have them right now. Babylon cannot counterplay. He doesn't have any access to Grey. We took care of that in the first stage, and he already did his first stage. And after seeing this pickup, we could anticipate that he will probably pay or get this done anyway. And Giza here is excellent at counterplaying us, but she's sitting in a position, or he is sitting, no idea. I'm just going to she by Giza. Here, Giza is actually not in position where she usually counterplays. So that makes it excellent to go full green if the spread is right. And from what we see in this one, the spread looks okay. So let's go full library. But every time you get a free sets, you should consider switching to red immediately, because that often will be your counterplay. But here we are very glad that we didn't, because there is archer range, dispensary and lab. There are 2 dispensaries and only 1 lab, so of course we're going for the lab. And right now we are feeling pretty good about ourselves. Still, Rhodos not online. Still no Grey, so that it's troubling. Another thing that we do when we kill his dream of green, we force him to go red, basically. And him going red is the best thing that can happen to us. So it's all working out so far. This is cool, of course. Yeah, just very, very natural. He finally got the stage online, but it's too late. We already have dispensary. And I'm not even saying that he should block us or anything. Maybe he just shouldn't, and he should just focus on his own game. Here there is an interesting choice, I would say. Quarry gives us first stage, that's a safe pickup. Brickyard goes with the Chamber of Commerce that I mentioned earlier. Both are fine, I think, but Cedric prefers Quarry, and I think that's a little more precise. Like you just want to play this, but this is very important. We still haven't had the second stage online. And I don't think we will. Like, looking at how this is shaping up, I don't think we will have this stage online. This could give us also some cash, I think. Probably the stage is going to get built, so the quarry won't give us as much, but the sawmill could give us some cash. I think we are winning this game regardless, but sawmill makes the blue guild better. Sawmill also makes it easier for the scientist guild, so that's two important distinction. But because we played this like we played this, we didn't throw this. I don't think this is a possibility here. We just would be forced to throw, and I think this is better. And here we are just bearing that we expected, and yeah, that's just how it is here. And we go into third age. Yeah, as you can see with the points, this is, and we can play all the green cards for free, and all of them are excellent for us. So yeah, this is a one game basically at this stage. Worth noting, Babylon still doesn't have all the grace access, so that's quite troubling for him. Here we are just starting with university. We don't know what will get buried, but yeah, we're just focused on our own stuff. One thing to note is that Exodus actually, Exodus here, I mean Ephesos, the Iron Man here, he has 27 points, so he is actually winning ahead of us. He will have troubles collecting points, so whenever you have look at a pantheon like that, it's usually good to like check if he has altar. We can't do anything about it, but it's still nice to have a look, just like a habit. Here we will pick university. He will have troubles finding points because his resources are so bad. He basically tried to do kind of rush strategy. That's what I usually call it when you're just trying to get early points and then try to survive in the end. And he'll maybe have troubles even winning the red on the side with the Babylon, but we'll just have to see. Still, I would take this position any day of the week in this game. Here we're just getting a lodge, so it looks like we will be able to finish in 3 sets, and the Chamber of Commerce can wheel actually for us, so that's quite good. Yeah, that's really good. Here we play one of the two. Doesn't really matter, and yeah, I guess it matters a little bit here. No, it doesn't actually, because both of them can be played for free. By the Babylon, he plays a lot of red, he plays red. This basically makes us win, like along with the with this stuff. We can play Academy and we can pass Palace. In games like this, you are actually not upset about your neighbor getting Palace because you are getting 4 gold from him playing the Palace. That's good. This is another important decision in this game. Maybe not important, but that's quite cute. Playing Lighthouse is better than throwing Lighthouse if you can play for free. It's actually 1 point more here, a whole point more, so that's quite cute. So Lighthouse here. We actually got 6 gold from him, so that's excellent, and then we are throwing. And that's the game. And in a game like that, it's usually going to be first place Ephesos, second place Rhodos, third place Giza, or they can switch, but usually it's second place Rhodos and the 4th place to the Babylon. Let's see if that's correct. I was not checking the points right now, trust me. And no, actually Giza got last because he was a little bit behind. So I'd say that's pretty good for Babylon player. I think P3 here is decent. And there you have it, guys. Tell me what you think about it. Was it a good play? Was it a good signal? Maybe it was a good setup for 3rd age. Tell me what you think about it in the comment section down below. When you are there, remember to like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!